archery. Our club was formed in 2018, and we have representatives from all over Western New York. I'm Audrey Hager, and I'm the vice president of our club. I'm going to go ahead and introduce some of our other members here. Sam O'Connor, go ahead, raise your hand. Nice and tall, Sam. Okay. Sam is the orange arrows. Then we have Sherry Staley. Sherry Staley is from Ellery, New York, which is one of our main practice locations. Next we have Kate McLean. And then Robert McCarthy. And anybody during our talk, if you've got a question, go ahead and raise your hand. There will definitely be time towards the end for questions. And our horse today is Glory. Glory is a half Oregon, half quarter horse. And his England owner is Caroline North. Caroline will be demonstrating how to get you and your horse started in mounted archery. So we're definitely dedicated to safe practice of this competitive sport. This definitely takes dedication, trust in your horse. When we compete, the goal is to compete by galloping down the laneway and shooting at targets. The targets you see in the ring here are standard size for mounted archery. So you can see they're probably larger than what you might be used to if you're familiar with compound archery. Let's go over some of the equipment. So my demonstrators, go ahead and hold up your bows. So these are the bows. These are considered traditional horse bows. And notice they're similar to a recurve, but there's no shot. You have to hold your arrows and load them kind of on your hand. And we'll demonstrate that later on. The bows are not lightweight themselves because imagine galloping down an open field, ready to shoot at an enemy, and you don't want a big heavy compound bow. So these archery bows are really designed to be lightweight and yet powerful. They come in different pull strengths. So a typical pull strength would be 20 pound, 30 pound. You can get 40 and 50 pound draw weight bows, but you don't necessarily need that for mounted archery. So overall today, we're going to go over some of the different basics of what you need to get started, and we're going to demonstrate for you archery in slow motion, and also archery up close. Let's talk about some of the arrows. So we use carbon fiberglass arrows typically, and they come in different sizes and lengths. All the arrows have feathers, which is reflection, and they have field tips. If you're familiar with compound archery, which is often used in hunting, you may be familiar with broad head tips, but we use field tips. They are still weapons, so you really have to practice safety with this sport. And we have set up this your horse by desensitizing them to the equipment. And then you can start to get your horse used to practice loading and drawing. So, loading the arrow onto the bow takes practice if you've never done it before. And right now, our demonstrators can also demonstrate just load, we call it the loading drill. So you have your arrows maybe in a quiver, and many of us have hip quivers, so the quiver sits on our hip. I'm demonstrating a left-handed quiver. This is on my left hip, because I'm left-handed. But many people are right-handed, so it's going to sit on the right hip. And you need to practice to load the arrow out. This allows you to feel the arrow to load it onto the string. And eventually the name of the game is to do this as quickly as possible. Because again, imagine your person hammering down a field towards the target. You need to be able to, the right wings and the left wings, load the arrow on the string. So this loading drill is something we often practice at home and our living rooms just to build that muscle. We're tendency to look down at your capabilities, but we are trying not to do that because you are shooting at the target. While our demonstrators are continuing to develop a loading drill, we've been at Equifest since 2018, and we've been coming to Equifest now since 2019. And we follow different national organizations. So our club is part of what's called MA3, the Mountain Archery Association of Americas. And they follow the International Horse Archery Alliance. This is the world governing body for horseback archery. So a lot of the equipment specifications we use based on this world archery governing body. Now you can use pretty much any tag to arch. You can use any shell, a tail, between a rod of some sort. left knee goes away. This is actually a pretty good size to demonstrate that this helps you normally shape on horse to a target. Let's do a few side shots. And the target is on each side. And our ground archers can also demonstrate this. So we are on the ground, the knees are parallel, and you want to basically a horse stance. Let your feet are facing exactly the horse is facing. And then you practice rolling around, not arrow. Ready? And shoot. Now for today, we're going to bar archers are just going to call a half draw instead of a full draw. That was a bullseye, in case you missed it. And girls using special tips for safety reasons. These tips bounce, but when we are outside in the field, we'll use field tips which do penetrate the target. So now let's go ahead and demonstrate a front shot. So now we're going to imagine a horse is going towards a target. So your feet are now, and your horse, facing the target. The target's in front of you. And so you've got to change how you load and draw the arrow. So we're going to slow this down a little bit. Caroline's going to face the target for a front shot. Okay, so she's facing the right-hand target. And to get a full draw, notice what she does with her feet in her stirrups. She's going to twist her outside right stirrup. And what this does is it helps with stability. It gives her a full draw, and you're stable. And notice she's sitting up out of the saddle a little bit. This is ideally what you want to do. You want to hover. You don't want to be sitting down, because if the horse is in motion, whether they're trotting or cantering, then the horse is going to be moving up and down. And you need to be as stable as possible in order to have a smooth aim. So go ahead and demonstrate if you didn't have a smooth aim, like bouncing up and down. So if you were posting or bouncing up and down because you were just sitting there, your arrows would kind of be bouncing. And that's not ideal. So instead we want to hover. Your lower body is taking the impact of the horse, whether you're trotting or walking or cantering. So this takes some practice. But whether you write English or Western, most people pick it up pretty quickly. So we just did the side shot. Let's do another front shot. Very good. And then there's one more third type of shot we typically do in competitions, which we call a back shot. And this is actually one of the most fun shots. Imagine now you're running away from the target. So you run up on your enemy, and now you pass them, but you still want to get a few shots off. So your horse is past the target. You need to aim behind you. There's a lot of trust in your horse with this. You've dropped the reins, you trust your horse is going to still be moving forward, and you're shooting behind yourself. Now, for safety reasons, we do always have the reins attached to the saddle, usually by a rein keeper. So those of us here today, we're all levels. Caroline and Robin and myself are both fairly proficient at a canter, but we have other archers who are still doing well at a walk trot. And so again, all levels, and whatever speed you're going at, it's really fun, I gotta say. There's a lot of adrenaline. You kind of channel your inner warrior, and there's a lot of aim and precision involved in that. So Carolyn's still demonstrating the back shot. This is actually one of my favorites. Some people find they're better at a front shot, a side shot, or a back shot. Now, with our competitions, there's typically a laneway. So there's a lane so that your horse is always going in a straight line. And that is excellent for horses that they just follow the laneway, but you have to trust that your horse is going to maintain a consistent speed. So on your own, what you can do is practice riding without reins. That's what Carolyn's demonstrating right now. And can you maintain your balance, whether it's sitting or even hovering a little bit? And can you maintain that and do maybe a loading drill all at the same time? And also, can you have your horse speed up or slow down without reins? This requires riding with your core and your seat. So, ideally, we all know how to make our horses go faster, right? But can you make your horse stop without using reins? Let's see if Carolyn can do it. So sit down deep, hold your core, and then your horse stops without using the reins. So these simple skills you can practice at home with your own horse. So once again, nice steady walk, and let's see if you can slow the walk without any reins. And she is directing you. You may be wanting to stop at one of us looking for treats. So Carolyn's now demonstrating balance, posture, stability. All breeds of horses can do this sport. As I mentioned before, Glory is half quarter horse, half Arabian. I myself have a half Arabian, half Appaloosa. We have full Arabians, we have quarter horses, we have draft crosses, saddlebreds. If your horse is a bit of a hotter-blooded, thoroughbreds tend to be hot-blooded. It just might take a little more time with a desensitization, but all horses can typically pick this up. So if you are right-handed, the targets typically will always be on your left. There is what we call an offside shot. And Carolyn can demonstrate this now. So now she's actually going to go such that the target's going to be on her right. Now this usually would be not too far away from the target. So an offside shot requires you to pick up your bow and arrow and go over the horse's neck to then shoot at the target. So this is a more of an advanced shot. And you don't want to knock your horse's head. They don't like that. And she'll demonstrate it again. You would load on your normal side. Then you got to lift the whole bow and arrow. This offside shot, one of the more difficult shots we do. And I mentioned before that a lot of the competitions where we do this, there's a laneway, but there is a course called the hunt course. And the hunt course could be through woods, could be in an open field, and this requires a lot more horsemanship where you need to allow your horse to a laneway, you would need to follow a set course, which twists and turns. And so that requires a lot more horsemanship, ideally doing it without holding the reins. A typical track is 90 meters long, and 90 meters is a fair distance. A hunt course might be up to 300 meters long, so those are typically longer distance courses. One thing I'll mention is that this is a growing sport. We are a chapter in Western New York. There's another chapter in Pennsylvania. There are chapters in Tennessee, California, Florida, all across the United States. We would love to see more chapters formed in New York or Pennsylvania. And what this does is it allows for friendly competitions. And this summer, in September, the world competition will be held in Tennessee. So this world competition has never been hosted by the United States before. Last year it was in Mongolia, and we had some archers from the United States travel to Mongolia to ride Mongolian ponies to compete in the world ranking competition. And this year in September, it will be in the United States in Tennessee. Our club will be hosting some beginner clinics this year in May and July. So you don't have to be a member of a chapter to be a part of the sport, but it's very helpful to have that social element. And the Mounted Archery Association of the Americas, which is the national organization, they're very helpful to provide resources like insurance, as well as they sanction those competitions. They also can provide mentors and support for the different clubs and chapters. So the courses that we ride as well as the equipment, it's all steeped in tradition, whether that be Mongolian tradition or even more local Native American tribes. There's quite a lot of history to this sport. And the different courses are practice the front shot, the side shot, the back shot, they're all kind of based off of sort of traditional practices. So the distance we're shooting from now, I would guess would be around 10 to 11 meters. Again, the idea is that your cursor comes up towards the target, and you shoot it, and then you run away as fast as you can. The two locations where we practice are Northern Farm, which is owned by Caroline Norton's riding. That's in Collins, New York. The second location we hold practices currently is Thistledown Stable, located in Allegheny, New York. Both of these locations offer lessons in mounted archery. And it's a great sport to get to really see your progress. I started by shooting at a standstill. And I'll never forget the first time I had my horse canter. I was very nervous, but I think I can do it. And so I got my horse into a canter, and you just gotta trust your horse, let go of the reins, and at speed, shoot at the target. And you might not hit the target right away. That's okay. That's all part of the learning process. We've got some time. We can take questions if anybody from the audience has some questions. We'll be happy to answer answer those. If anybody would like to see something up close, feel free to come up to us. If you want to see the bows, if you want to see the loading drill up close, come on down. We're happy to show you. Caroline's going to shoot a few more times. Every time she hits a bullseye, I want to hear a big cheer, okay? Let's see, now I'm putting on the pressure. Just off. Now, we know in archery, if you hit the yellow, that's considered a bullseye. If you hit the red, that would be, so the bullseye is 5 points. The red area would be 4 points. The blue, 3 points. Black is 2 points. And the white outermost circles are 1 point. A lot of us do this for fun. But if you are more competitive, competitions are scored. Where's that cheering? That was a bullseye. Good job. Our competitions are scored in part on your accuracy, but also in part when you're cantering and how fast your horse can canter. So when you get